Hi, so in this video I want to show you guys how to properly master your own tracks. So I have this session here. One of the tracks I mixed, the other track the producer mixed. What the producer did, they added a limiter and squashed the hell out of the track to make it as loud as possible. So let's listen back. That's extremely loud. So if the mix was good, it's ruined by that limiter. Now we're going to take a look at my mix, and right away you're going to notice the difference in volume.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito. White girl, bad breath in the white beater. She keep a magazine, she ain't a reader.
What a big difference. So before we continue, it's important that you understand a couple of things. Nowadays, we're not mixing just for the radio. We're mixing for YouTube, Spotify, and so on. So in the description, there's going to be a link to this website. Come check it out. It's going to give you some information. It's going to give you your target volumes. For example, Apple Music, minus 16 LUFS, Spotify, minus 14 LUFS, and so on. So it's extremely important you understand this. So you want to bounce for YouTube, for Spotify, for Apple Music, and so on. So it's extremely important that you properly set up your meter. Right here, I have 14, 18, and 20. I have it set up to 14. That's my target. If you don't have your meter properly set up, you're going to run into some issues. So, okay, let's master this track. Now, I'm going to use the Ozone by Isotope. There's a lot going on in this plugin. I have an EQ section, an imager section, and a maximizer. We're going to focus on the maximizer. So the first thing I want to do, ceiling, I want to bring it down to minus 1 dB. Also, I want to turn the plugin on. So over here you have target, and it's already set to minus 14 LUFS. If your target is something else, you can change that, but I'm going to keep it there.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito. White girl, bad breath in the white beater. She keep a magazine.
So what I ended up doing, I clicked learn threshold, and it automatically set the threshold for me, which is pretty nice. The ceiling is set to minus 1 dB. That way, you won't have any clipping issues. Next, I'm going to go to imager.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito. White girl, bad breath in the white beater. She keep a magazine, she ain't a reader. And last night the Knicks ran through the Cavaliers. So a nigga feel loopy, take shots in the all black hoop there. Man, I used to give a fuck, now it does less. Home stretch, wash, hey baby, I does this.
Sounding pretty good. I'm going to avoid the EQ section for the simple reason when I was mixing the song on the master bus, I had compression, EQ, and so on. So at the moment, I'm not going to add any of this. So actually, I'm going to disable that. So if you're happy, you can print or you can bounce and you get to go. But if you're asking, Ray, I don't have this plugin. What can I do? Really simple. Let's disable this. Let's move on to another plugin. So over here, we have the Waves L1 limiter. I already set up the plugin to the proper target.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito.
Now we're going to turn the plugin on.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito. White girl, bad breath in the white beater. She keep a magazine, she ain't a reader.
And if you're wondering, what do I do if I don't have this one? Really simple. Your DAW should have a built-in limiter. I'm using Studio One, and this is the limiter that comes with Studio One. Let's turn this on. The only difference here, the threshold only goes down to minus 13. So I'm not able to set it to minus 14. But that's fine. Let's listen back.
Hey, we had sex off a 20 in a Fatalito. White girl, bad breath in the white beater. She keep a magazine, she ain't a reader. And last night the Knicks ran through the Cavaliers.
That's great. And if you're wondering, why am I using 2 meters? I'm using one in the beginning of the chain, one afterwards. Simple reason, I want to see exactly the signal before it hits the plugins. Then I want to see the signal after it hits the plugins. You don't have to do this. That's just something I like to do. So that's pretty much to it. That's how you master your tracks. Really simple. You're not overdoing things, and it's not sounding distorted or anything like that. This is not replacing a mastering engineer. Those guys are great. They're good at what they do. If you can find one, go ahead. If you've been working on your song for a couple of weeks, a couple of hours, you need some new ears, you need some new perspective. You need to send it out to somebody. They're going to spot the mistakes. They're going to try to correct it. And if they can't, they're going to let you know. So that's pretty much to it, guys. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to like the video. I want you to share this video. Check the description. You're going to have some information there. And if you want to discuss this, post in the bottom. This is Ray, and I'm out of here. Later, guys.